Hello and welcome to the Miles Irvin Show. I'm your host, Miles, and last night the NBA season tipped off for the 2023-24 campaign with two excellent, entertaining matchups that happened last night. And now tonight we have 12 games with all brand new teams, 24 new teams playing their first games of this brand new season, and it is so much fun. This is one of my favorite times of the year. So let's get into last night's games. But before we do, I just want to say leave a comment on this video giving your thoughts on what you thought about last night's matchups before I even get into it. We're going to go over the Lakers Nuggets and the Suns Warriors, of course, as those are the two games that occurred last night. And both had, different things about them that I definitely found interesting, you know, heading into the rest of the season. So let's start with the Nuggets defeating the Lakers 119 to 107 on their ring night, led by Nikola Jokic, 29 points, 13 rebounds, and 11 assists, dominating the game, orchestrating the Nuggets offense beautifully. This triple double, Jokic's 106th career triple double, which is now the sixth most in NBA history, moves him one away from tying LeBron James and Jason Kidd of fourth all time in triple doubles in NBA history, which is incredible when you really think about it. Because I mean, LeBron and Jason Kidd, two of the great passers we have ever seen, in the game of basketball, and this guy is about to enter. This is his ninth year in the league now with Jokic, and he's about to pass these two guys. It's unbelievable, and I'm so thankful that I'm able to watch this guy play. Because it's so beautiful to watch him play. In the first half and really the first quarter, the Lakers just could not stop Jokic in the paint, whether it was offensive rebounding, hook shots, layups, floaters, passing out to his three-point shooters. Like, everything was clicking for Jokic and this Nuggets offense. In that first quarter, shots were falling. Their starters played very well together. Jamal Murray played well, especially in the third quarter. He got cooking, he got on fire. 21.6 assists for Murray. Caldwell Pope had 20 points. Aaron Gordon had his usual all around efforts. Michael Porter Jr., he struggled shooting the ball, but had 12 rebounds, still found a way to make his impact and imprint on this game. Something else that I really liked about this one was with Michael Malone. Coming into this season, a big reason why I'm a little critical of the Nuggets is because of their bench and the fact that they don't really have a bench. And Michael Malone was like, okay, we really don't have a super deep bench. So I'm just going to go ahead and play all my starters 30 to 35 minutes. And that's exactly what he did. And it worked. Now, that's definitely a playoff sort of mentality. I don't think that that's going to be the case throughout the regular season because, we'll get to the Lakers side of things with like LeBron only playing 29 minutes. Guys will need their rest throughout the season, so it'll be important that this Nuggets bench can definitely step up. I mean, their guys didn't look bad. Christian Brown had his moments. Reggie Jackson looked, solid in his 24 minutes of action. But they will definitely need more production from their bench as the season goes forward. Now, heading over to the Lakers side of things, in the first half, the story was Anthony Davis being unstoppable and being the Lakers' really only offense. They were going to him a lot in the post, and he was making a bunch of jump shots, drives to the basket. He was having a terrific first half, scored 17 points, and then threw up an egg in the second half. Did not score, which is absolutely unacceptable for your star players. Like, the Lakers coming into this season are talking about how they kind of want it to be similar to 2020 in the sense that Anthony Davis was their number one scoring option that season. Now, LeBron James was better than Anthony Davis, but Davis, was their number one scoring option in the regular season and throughout the playoffs. And they're looking for that to be the case this year. And for him to not score a single point in the second half is absolutely unacceptable. So that's going to have to be, assured, of course. I mean, Anthony Davis is a superstar, an incredible player. He's going to pick it up for sure. But the Lakers, the rest of the Lakers also have to pick it up as well. Because really, aside from Torian Prince, who had a terrific, Lakers debut, four threes, 18 points. LeBron even and LeBron, he had 21 points, 8 boards, 5 assists. He had a good impact on the game. But, it was just normal LeBron, it was normal LeBron stuff. Like there wasn't anything that was really too crazy about his performance. The rest of the Lakers did not show out in this game. D'Angelo Russell looked bad. Austin Reeves, I don't think had that great of a game. Even though he had the 14 points, 8 rebounds, he had terrific effort plays on the offensive glass, but overall he did not really have that great of a game. Their bench, which, they shored up this offseason, made some nice additions to, add to their depth. None of them really showed that much. Hachimura and Vincent only had 6 points each. Vincent, really all he did was pick up 3 fouls in the second quarter on one play, trying to physically play Jamal Murray defensively. Cam Reddish and Christian Wood each had 7 points off the bench. I mean, it's nothing too special, and it's definitely all stuff that the Lakers need to build upon in order to have success later on in the season. Now, of course, this is just game one of 82. No sense in overreacting or anything like that. But for sure the Lakers need to improve and those guys need to play better for them to have a better chance of winning and doing the type of things that they want to do. Now, moving on to the second game of the doubleheader, we had the Phoenix Suns going into San Francisco and defeating the Warriors 108 to 104. And this was a bit of a shocker for me because coming into this game, I was really looking forward to seeing the Suns' big three, of Booker, Durant, and Bradley Beal make their first appearance out on the floor during the regular season. But it came out this morning. Bradley Beal has been dealing with an ailing back injury at the end of the preseason, and the Suns want to be very cautious with him, which by all means, makes perfect sense to me. Take your time and get your guys right because this is a type of game where it really doesn't matter at the end of the season in playoff time. You need your guys ready for the playoffs. Now, this game definitely can matter, for seeding, regular season seeding in the playoffs, especially against a Golden State team. These two teams might be battling in there to get home court advantage throughout the playoffs. And in the Western Conference. But I thought that with Beal out, that Golden State was going to pull it out because of the lack of defense, really from both sides. I didn't think, with Draymond Green out, I didn't think there was going to be a lot of defense in this game, but the Suns won this game a lot of, because of their defense. Devin Booker was fantastic with his 32 points and 8 assists. He was making a ton of difficult shots. He looked really good out there. And their second best player, I would have to say, was probably Josh Okogie. You know, pesky defense, 17 points, 5 boards, hit a clutch 3-pointer from the corner, in the last minute of the game. And the Suns able to pull out this victory with Kevin Durant having a pretty brutal game shooting the ball. So, if you're the Suns, you gotta be happy with this performance, but there's definitely a lot more that those guys can do. They gotta be happy with mainly the debut performances they got from Yuta Watanabe off the bench and Yusuf Nurkic. Both of them I thought were very good on both ends of the floor. Eric Gordon came in. He didn't shoot very well this game, but he made a clutch 3-pointer late down the stretch as well. Now, something that I do notice with this Suns team is how they play in stretches. Like in one 5-minute stretch, they look like the best team in the world. You can't stop them. Just incredible on both ends. Then the next 5 minutes, they can't score and they can't get a stop. So this is a very streaky in-game team, but I think that once you have Beal in there with Durant and Booker, if you have all three of these guys clicking for an entire game, I do not know how you stop this team. Because like when Booker was going crazy, making his like pull up mid range shots, his threes, his layups, his fadeaways, I'm just sitting there thinking like Kevin Durant can do the exact same thing. Bradley Beal can do this exact same thing. If those three do it all in the same game, how do you guard them? Like, how do you guard them? And then you have Yusuf Nurkic, who provided, excellent minutes, 14 points, 14 rebounds, and even had a couple jump shots in the game as well to keep the Warriors defense honest there. And then you have Josh Okogie doing his thing, being such a pesky defender and, an excellent, Swiss Army knife offensive player, getting inside, offensive rebounds, getting some tough layups inside. You know, I don't know how you guard this team. I do not know how you guard this team, especially when they're also defending like this as well. Golden State shot 35% from the field, 23% from three, and there were not a whole lot of open shots. Steph and Clay really struggled. Well, I wouldn't say Steph really, really struggled. He had a couple, half court heaves there that kind of hindered his percentages a little bit. Chris Paul struggled. He missed a lot of open shots there. But overall, I think he had a solid debut. I am surprised that they did end up starting him for this game. Ended up playing the second most minutes on the team, 34 minutes, had 14 points, 9 assists, 6 rebounds. But all in all, I think that it started off very solid, and Kuminga and Moody played very well. Kuminga missed a couple, free throws down the stretch. Um, that definitely would have helped them out. But Phoenix, they just made all the right plays down the stretch. Specifically Devin Booker, who I'm going to get to a little bit later in one of my segments. But just a great win for the Suns to begin the season. So let me know in the comments what you think about these two games from last night. Are you worried about the Lakers or Warriors in any sort of thing? Is anyone stopping a Nuggets Suns conference final? I want to hear all your day one takes from this start of the season here. And I'm sure there's going to be a whole lot more with the 12 games happening here tonight. Speaking of that, let's preview some of them real quick. I've got two that I really have my eye on, and they are the two ESPN doubleheader games. So first up at 7 o'clock on ESPN, we've got the Celtics and the Knicks from Madison Square Garden. This should be a heck of an atmosphere in New York. And I have my eyes on this game, for two reasons. I mean, one, these are two of the top projected teams in the Eastern Conference, two of the top teams in offense and defense last year, and both teams got better during the offseason. Second reason is these two teams played on opening night back in 2021, and it was the best game of the season. It went to double overtime. It had anything that you could think of, in a basketball game, it had in that game, besides, I guess, an altercation. There weren't any, like, fights or scrums in that game. But there was a buzzer beater. There were wide open missed dunks. There were deep clutch shots being hit. It was an incredible game, and I'm hoping for something similar to happen tonight uh, in New York. But my key to this game is going to be the rebounding. When you look at these matchups, for these two teams, these projected starters, the head-to-head matchups, first of all, are incredible as well. You've got Drew Holiday on Jalen Brunson. That's going to be incredible. Jaylen Brown, RJ Barrett, Jason Tatum, Julius Randle. That's all going to be great. But the key to this game is going to be the rebounding. Because the Celtics, of course, with the acquisition of Kristaps Porzingis, they now have terrific front court players with Porzingis, Tatum, and Al Horford, but none of them are really great rebounders. And the Knicks really thrive at rebounding, especially as we saw in that Cleveland series last year with Mitchell Robinson, Julius Randle, Isaiah Hartenstein off the bench. They have Jericho Sims, who's going to be playing their backup power forward to begin the season. So I think that the rebounding is going to be huge for this game. If the Celtics can keep the rebounding numbers pretty even while also shooting the ball well, I think they will come out with the road victory. But if the Knicks end up dominating the offensive glass, I would expect the Knicks to pull out this game. But that's definitely going to be my game of the night to watch here tonight with the Celtics and Knicks at 7 o'clock on ESPN. The second game of that doubleheader, which I'm sure everyone is going to have their eyes on, is the Dallas Mavericks and the San Antonio Spurs, as Victor Wembanyama will make his NBA debut from San Antonio tonight in a Texas showdown. He'll go up against, a Mavericks team that does not have a lot of bigs, but they do have two of the most electrifying offensive guards in the game in Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving. How will they play with the 7'4"-ness of Wemby lurking around in there? And the fact that the Spurs just have a really tall team in general. We'll see how they start off their season, and the Mavericks too, if they can get a victory against a team that they should be better than, you would think. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. That's gonna be a fun couple games to watch there tonight, along with all the other games too. You can see them scrolling along there on the ticker if you want to check any of those games out. But time to go to my main segment for this show, and that is Miles's player of the night. I'm gonna try to figure out a player of the night. It's not always going to be a star player maybe, but the best performance of the night. Let's see who is the player of the night for tonight. Drum roll, please. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And it is only right. It is only right that on championship ring night, it goes to Nikola Jokic with his incredible triple-double against the Lakers. Like I said, just orchestrated that Nuggets offense beautifully and really dominated that game, for the Nuggets. And, he helped them close out that game. Like I said, when the Lakers were trying to make a comeback there, Jokic made all the right plays down the stretch, just like the Nuggets did, and they pulled out that win. So Jokic wins the inaugural Miles Player of the Night. I'm going to keep a tally of this throughout the season, and we'll see who wins the most of these. Comment down below who you think will win the most Player of the Night awards here from the Miles Irvin Show. I know that means a whole lot to those players. So, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, subscribe for more NBA content, leave a comment down below, like I said, with who you think is going to win the most Miles Player of the Night awards. And about those games last night and coming up tonight. Super fun, exciting stuff coming up here. Like I said on the last episode, every single weekday at 9 a.m. Eastern, we're going to have the Miles Irvin Show here on YouTube. I'm going to record another episode of the Run in the Paint podcast with the guys in a little bit as well. But I'm Miles. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you in the next one.